That's a direct order. Do it now.
He's been put down, ripped off, cut open. Now, he's unleashed. The American insurgency starts now. This is Rusty Humphrey's Rebellion Radio.
Well, hello, my brother from another mother. How you doing, my sister from another mister? Hello, welcome. This is the Rusty Humphreys Rebellion. We are brought to you by Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. We are brought to you by Right Wing News, the book 101 Things That Young Adults Should Know, and a brand, also Ad Zombies, and a brand new fabulous product I'll be telling you about in just a little bit. It's called WaxRx. Yes, you don't want to miss the WaxRx. I'll tell you why. A lot going on in the news, and I want to hear your comments. We're going to be reading them. I want to see what it is that's on your mind. Just go right here on Facebook and comment. Check in. I want to hear from you deplorables. Where are you watching from? What is on your mind? The world is ripping us off, and Donald Trump finally has said enough is enough, and put a stop to it with this getting out of the Paris Accords. We're going to get into that in just a minute. It's one of the best things Donald Trump has said, and the left, they're going crazy. Oh my gosh, the world's going to end. What's the word? I'm trying to think of what is the word of what the left is doing. They're lying. That's the word. Kimberly's checking in from Jacksonville. Sue's in Michigan. Daniel's in Maryland. Paul is watching from Long Island. Okay, we're going to get into all that in just a minute. I've been a fan of this young lady's since 1988, and she was just a little girl. Let me play you a little clip of Tammy Erin back when she was just a little girl. You're going to remember her. Remember this? Here we go.
Pippy Longstocking is coming into your world. A friend will face the girl you wanna know. She'll throw your life into a whirl.
She's pigtails. She's freckles. She's fun if you're young or old. And she's loved the world over. She's Pippy Longstocking.
No, she's not Pippy Longstocking. She is Tammy Erin. Tammy, whoops, let me get rid of that. Tammy, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. I'm here at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Of course you are. What are you doing there at Beverly Hills Hotel? Anything exciting happening?
Yeah, well, I had a great lunch meeting in the Polo Lounge about a project, but I actually used to live here for a few months.
You lived at the Beverly Hills Hotel?
I did for 3 months.
Oh my gosh. How old were you then?
This was a couple years ago.
Yeah, okay. So,
it's heaven, by the way, heaven on earth.
Is it really that nice? I mean, I hear rooms are like $800 a night or something crazy.
Yes, it's true. I've actually stayed in the bungalows and everything. I actually had stayed here before I lived here. I'd stayed here probably 24 times, but then when living here for 3 months, this is just heaven. I love it, but also I know it like the back of my hand.
Really? Oh, how awesome is that? All right, so first of all, I played the Pippy Longstocking teaser from 1988. How old were you then?
When I was cast, I was 11. When we filmed, I was 12 and 13, and when I did the world tour, I was 14 and 15.
Okay, so you did it for a long time.
Yes. It was 5 years of my life.
Do you get sick and tired of, oh my God, Pippy Longstocking, please, no, never again, or do you love it?
No, you know what? I love it, and I can't imagine a character that would have been better suited for me to play, but it's obvious because I won the role out of over 8,000 girls, including Drew Barrymore, who won in my role. Yeah.
Well, and you were so perfect at it, and you were one of those girls that's like, is she going to turn out hot? The answer is yes. But you do a lot of other things too. One of the things that you're very proud of, and rightfully so, was your work with UNICEF. You went around the world. You did some cool things with kids, right?
Yeah. So I was a UNICEF. I was appointed as a UNICEF ambassador for a year. And I spoke at I was the special guest speaker at the United Nations in New York City on World Children's Day. And I spoke to the delegates of over 100 countries about the hunger, education, and wartime issues that children face globally. I also went on to speak in Germany and Sweden and a couple other in the United States on behalf of the United Nations. So that was one of the things that I was so proud of. I didn't expect it, but I'm in such great company. Angelina Jolie has been a UNICEF ambassador, and also Selena Gomez is the youngest. At 13, she did that.
Now, you talk about UNICEF, the United Nations, and you're in Hollywood, and you'd think that you're some kind of left-wing whack job. And I've been following you on Facebook, and you're one of them. They're conservatives, aren't you? You're kind of coming out of your political shell.
So both of my parents were Republicans. I actually had 4 parents. And so I grew up as a Republican, and I fully support Donald Trump. I don't agree with everything he's doing, but I didn't agree with everything Obama did either. And it's actually historical that we have Democrat for a term, 2 terms, and then it goes Republican. So I knew that he was going to win anyway, even though, and I don't think Hillary would have made a good president. I don't like her and all of her lies and the scandals, and she even has a kill list. I mean, who is she kidding?
So Tammy Erin is here. You might remember her as Pippy Longstocking, done a bunch of other stuff. She's here. It's the Rusty Havers Rebellion. You're listening to the podcast. You're watching us on Facebook Live here on Right Wing News. What is it that really has your attention politically? Because like we talked about earlier, you weren't really as political not even that long ago, right? You've kind of gotten into it more?
This was the first election that I took an interest in, but what I posted on my supposedly private Facebook page, what concerns me are people coming into our country that are not vetted properly, and also people that are here illegally. That is unright. It's unfair, to everyone who's paying taxes, but particularly what bothers me about the immigrants, they're actually getting more money. These refugees are getting more money than our own veterans. That doesn't sit well with me. That's really the main issue with me. Our veterans should be taken care of the best. And the fact that they're giving the refugees more money every month than they're giving, and more benefits than they're giving to our own veterans, that I don't like.
But you're 100% right, Tammy. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, right down the street from that VA hospital where guys were dying. They weren't returning phone calls. My uncle died in a VA hospital, and
So sorry.
that's okay. My father was killed in Vietnam. Military issues are very, very important to me. And you're right. We got to take care of our veterans.
Yes.
Anyway,
there needs to be more light. I think there needs to be more light shed on that. And if I'm helpful in that way, then, good, because I've always been into philanthropy, and I've always used the spotlight in ways to talk about children's issues, animals, and also feeding the hungry and homeless. But this particular time, I'm much more interested in taking care of our veterans, because they've given many of them the ultimate sacrifice. And a lot of them come back with, struggles that they have to get through, and we need to support them.
Right. All right. You're working on a calendar.
Yes, I am. It's nudes and lingerie and bikinis. What my fans are used to now about me. Sexy, sexy, sexy.
Was that okay, again, we think of Pippy Longstocking. You at 14 years old, you've grown up. Why did you decide to get a little more risque than being the straight and narrow down the middle of the road family gal?
Having my celebrity sex tape is a worldwide bestseller. I'm very proud of it. It was a very liberating and empowering experience. And now all of my fans all over the world, they see me, Tami Erin. So they're like, oh, she's a woman, and she's sexy, and she's been a model. I've been a model longer than I've been an actress. I started as an elite model when I was 8. Elite's the biggest agency in the world. So
oh, that's funny. Me too.
Now they see me, Tammy Erin. Now they see me fully.
Right.
And that's the way they want to see me. Even with my book deal, one of the authors I'm working with said, Tammy, they just want to see you naked. And I'm like, I know.
And that doesn't bother
if you?
you?
Look like this, then why not? I love it.
You love it.
I love it. And also, I was raised to be exactly who I am. And if you're sexy, flaunt it. Go with it. And that's who I am, and that's what I've always been. I just couldn't show it to people because my brand was very, proper. And so I couldn't show this part of me. Now I am.
Okay, now being a Republican, would you call yourself a conservative, a Republican, a libertarian? Would you know what you call yourself politically?
I don't know conservative, but I only know Republican. I don't even know what a conservative would be. That to me, it's like the opposite of a liberal.
It is. You know what? You and I'll have to have a political discussion off the air, and I'll get you. I'll educate you a little bit, so you know. But because there are differences. I'll bet you're a little bit more of a libertarian in talking to you, because
I will learn what that is.
Yeah. Well, here's what a difference of a libertarian is. A libertarian, and I'm more of a conservative, but a libertarian kind of says, I don't care what you want to do as long as you're not hurting anybody else. If you want to smoke dope, if you want to take your clothes off, whatever. I don't care. That's a libertarian.
Yes,
A conservative might be
that's
a little bit
accurate.
more. A conservative might be a little bit more. Do you got to get so naked? You know what I mean?
Yes. So then that's true. I would be a liberal.
No, that's not a liberal. Liberal is
Oh, no, I mean a conservative, whatever.
libertarian. Libertarian.
Libertarian. I have to remember that.
Well, you know what? It's okay. You know what I respect about you and why I've had you on the show, and we're going to have you back on, is that you want to learn. You're not in Hollywood, and you didn't get force-fed what you're supposed to say, and you're being
No.
yourself.
I think no, and also I think it's refreshing for me to finally take an interest in politics, which I didn't even vote before. So this was the first election I took an interest, and I actually voted. So I think for me, I'm like, that's good. For me, this is something new.
I think it's awesome. All right, we've got some comments here. Brian says, "Go for it, Tammy."
Thank you.
Will says, "Nice to hear from a young person that's got a brain. Good for you." Thomas
you.
says, "I want a calendar." Let's see here. Anyway, the list goes on and on and on. Anyway, Tammy, I know you're having a good time at the
Beverly Hills Hotel.
Beverly Hills Hotel. Yes, that's that pink one, right?
Yes, the Pink Palace with all the bungalows behind. This is where Elizabeth Taylor spent her honeymoon, by the way.
Really? It's
yeah,
also,
it's so magic.
and of course
Magic
that famous park across the street. You know what that one's famous for, right?
Oh, George Michael?
Yeah, that's the George Michael Park.
Yes.
Tammy, you're awesome. Will you please come back?
Yes, of course I will.
Okay,
Yeah.
and is the calendar available yet, or how do we find out more?
No, it should be available at the end of August, beginning of September.
Okay, and then do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook page? How do you want people to find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Tammy Erin Real, TamieErin, Tammy Erin Real on Twitter, Tammy Erin on Instagram, and my Facebook official is Tammy Erin, and then my website is TammyErin.com.
You are,
And coming soon
yes.
is TammyErinShop.com.
Oh wow, you're a busy gal.
I am a busy, yes, I'm busy.
Hey, I sure appreciate it. Tammy, thank you so much. Have a great time, okay? Thanks for being here.
And to my fans, I love you.
Love you
Mwah.
back.
Big
All right,
kisses.
there you go. How much fun is
Okay.
she? She's great. Bye, Tammy. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. It's Tammy Erin, and she was Pippy Longstocking. Okay, I just hang up on her. I did. I had to hang up on her.
No, you didn't. I hung up.
Well, there you go. No, I'm hanging up on you. We're hanging up. See, I can still hear. There we go. Okay. Now, see, here's what I like about doing this program. I can talk about anything. We can check in. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to see what's on your mind. I want you to check in right now. I don't care where you are. I want to hear from you deplorables right now, and the thumbs ups and all of that stuff, because interaction is so important on these programs, because again, the left is doing everything they can to make sure that conservative voices aren't heard. I have a conservative voice. They don't want to hear us. So will you please do me a favor? Will you please comment? There we go. It makes so much of a difference for you commenting and you putting your thumbs ups. Lots of thumbs ups and the hearts. It makes all the difference in the world, because that way we can go around the mainstream media. And boy, we need to do that more than ever, because today was a big day. Today was a very big day in the news, and boy, the way the media has handled today has been, if you ask me, absolutely shocking. President Trump has come out and did a speech today, in my opinion, one of the most important speeches that he's ever done, and I'm sure you've heard a little bit about it, but this is what he had to say today, and it's so important. Take it away, Mr. President.
We want fair treatment for its citizens, and we want fair treatment for our taxpayers. We don't want other leaders and other countries laughing at us anymore, and they won't be. They won't be. I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris.
Amen, brother. Amen, Mr. President.
I promised I would exit or renegotiate any deal which fails to serve America's interests. Many trade deals will soon be under renegotiation. Very rarely do we have a deal that works for this country, but they'll soon be under renegotiation. The process has begun from day one. but now we're down to business. Beyond the severe energy restrictions inflicted by the Paris Accord, it includes yet another scheme to redistribute wealth out of the United States through the so-called Green Climate Fund, nice name, which calls for developed countries to send $100 billion to developing countries, all on top of America's existing and massive foreign aid payments.
Okay, so President Trump has come out and said, I'm not doing the Paris Accord. I'm not doing this climate change garbage. It's phony. You got to prove your point, and they're not doing it. They're not doing. So again, what the president is doing is he's saying, I'm not going to allow you other countries to take advantage of us. I'm not doing it anymore. And, you know, the left has come out from crazy town. It really is nuts how far they've come out. It's like a religion to them. Now, you know, you take a look. President Trump talked about this. We've known about this for a long time, where, you know, even if we did everything that they suggested, you would save, was it 0.2 degrees in like 30 years? I don't know about you, but the temperature at my house went up 20 degrees today. Today! All right, it's 106 degrees outside here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I want to know from you, do you think the president was right or wrong for trying to pull us out of the Paris Accords? Now, the other liberal countries, oh, you can't do it. We're not going to let you. You can't pull America out. Yeah, we're gonna. Now, I love the way Obama put this in. First of all, he didn't put it to the Senate. He just did stroke of the pen, law of the land. Number one. Number two, they made it so we couldn't get out until after this president, whoever this president would be, until after they're out after 4 years. So it was a scam from the beginning. And again, this doesn't help America. This helps China. It helps India. It helps a bunch of other countries, but it rips off America. That's what I think. Now, Rand Paul had some things to say about it. He was on CNN earlier today, and Rand Paul rocked it. Here's what he had to say on CNN. Let's go to the videotape.
We now Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. He supports withdrawing from the Paris climate deal. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. We anticipate that President Trump is going to announce not only that he's withdrawing, but that he does want to have a better climate deal. What might a better climate deal look like?
Well, first, you wouldn't lose 6 million American jobs. You know, I think one of the reasons President Trump was elected is that he promised that he would defend the American worker and defend American jobs. There are estimates that this agreement, which is unfair and punishes America in a much greater fashion than other countries, that we would lose 6.5 million jobs. Meanwhile, countries like India and countries like Iran, we would have to pay them to reduce their carbon emissions. I can't imagine a worse agreement than this thing for the American worker. But I think this is something that President Trump promised the voters. He was going to keep American jobs here, and he wasn't going to sign crazy agreements that don't have our best interest at heart.
Where would these, I don't know what study you're referring to, Senator, where would these 6 million American jobs come from? It seems like a rather dire prediction.
Well, they're in the energy industry. A lot of ours have been lost in Kentucky. We've lost, nearly 90,000 jobs in the coal industry because of excessive regulation. So if America, under this accord, has to reduce her carbon input by 20%, but China doesn't have to reduce their carbon footprint at all, how could that possibly be fair? Who in their right mind would sign something that says China doesn't have to do anything and we have to reduce? When you reduce your carbon footprint, it means you're going to have to reduce your energy output, or you have to convert to other sources, but there may not be enough energy from the other sources. And so then we're talking about going without energy.
How much
jobs
are
related to American jobs.
How much should the U.S. reduce its carbon footprint?
Under the accord, it's about a 20% reduction.
Right, no, but how much do you think it should be?
China doesn't have to reduce it at all. I think what we should
listen to Jake Tapper
well,
be
I
a
don't know if
lippy.
anybody can tell you right offhand the number. I can say we should try to constrain pollution.
Yes.
We should try to control pollution. And I think we have been doing that for 50 or 60 years. And I think we should continue. But, your previous guest sounded like, my goodness, the sky is falling. Mass extinction? Really? So I don't think we should be alarmist about this. I mean, the planet's 4.5 billion years old. We have gone through great extremes of climate change, natural, and now we may have a man-made influence as well. But these people, the question I always ask these alarmists is, how much is nature and how much is man? They act as if it's a given that man is the only source of climate change. Well, my goodness, the great climate changes in our history all happened before the Industrial Revolution. So is there climate change? Can man have an impact? Yes, but let's don't be so alarmist as to say such outrageous things that if we don't sign the Paris Accords, there's going to be mass extinction. That is a ridiculous statement.
Yes, it is.
Well, I don't know if it's a direct cause and effect relationship, but obviously scientists, you can go on to the nasa.gov website right now and see what the effects are of man-made climate change. I mean, some of them.
But if you look at the accord, even the intergovernmental committee that promotes all of this, even they say it might be 0.2 degrees over 100 years. And you also need to make sure your viewers know that most of their modeling has been wrong. They readjust their modeling every year because they haven't been very good at predicting things. Predicting the future is notoriously difficult, and this is modeling is not an exact science. It is a science that has variability and probability.
But they have been predicting for years that temperatures would go up. That glaciers would shrink, that sea ice would disappear, that oceans would rise, that the sea level would rise, that there would be longer and more intense heat waves. And all of that has happened, Senator. All of it has happened.
Yeah, but Jake, before man was even on the planet, before we even were burning fires, the oceans were 300 feet shallower. When people walked across from Asia, probably 20, 30,000 years ago, maybe up to 100,000 years ago, the seas were 300 feet shallower. That's why they could walk across the Bering Straits.
Are you really saying that
rising.
man is not contributing to climate change? I mean, is it?
Yes.
Really,
what I'm saying, what I'm saying, and this is the big argument that none of you guys get and nobody ever looks at is how much is nature and how much is man? I'm perfectly willing to admit that man can have an influence and that we should minimize our pollution. But those who say that it is all man and don't acknowledge that the 4.5 billion-year-old planet has gone through massive climate change based on natural effects.
All right. Rand Paul on fire today on CNN. Welcome, by the way. If you're just joining us, my name is Rusty Humphreys, and thanks for checking out the Rusty Humphreys Rebellion. We're here every night between 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and 9. Sometimes we get, it's kind of fluctuates. We're still trying to find the sweet spot. What I really appreciate is you watching, being a part of it. If you'll please comment, I'm going to read some of your comments in just a second. Give us the thumbs up. Will you also please share this video, this live stream as we're live, or if you're listening to the podcast, share the podcast because it's so important. There are so many people that are out there lying to you today. This has been an outrageous, despicable event by the left, trying to scare everybody, trying to scare our children. I remember back in it was the late 70s, and Ted Danson, back when he was a celebrity. Remember that guy? And he was on Cheers, and he came out and said the oceans are going to be dead by the 80s. Whoopsie. Al Gore has made prediction after prediction after prediction. They never come true. See, guys like Al Gore who could fly all over the world in their private jets and their multi-million-dollar mansions, they want you to give up stuff. They want you to pay extra. They want to live large. Nobody's gotten more wealthy off of this phony baloney hoax, global warming hoax, than Al Gore has. Nobody. I just saw a memo that came out. There was an email between Hillary and Huma, and I don't remember the date, but it was during the Obama administration, and Hillary and Michelle Obama were supposed to go and speak someplace together. And in the email, Hillary asks Huma, oh, hey, by the way, can you see if we can get a different plane? I know we could be flying the same plane with Michelle Obama, but why don't you and I get our own plane? Uh-huh. Have you ever had that conversation? Why don't we get our own private jet and let our coworker take a different one? That's what kind of pieces of garbage we're dealing with. And I'm so sick and tired of them. Hey, one thing, would you do me a favor? We got a great sponsor. It's Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Australian Dream Back Pain Relief Cream. It really is a great product. As a matter of fact, it's available at Walmart, Walgreens, and other great retailers. And what's great about Australian Dream is it does what it says it's going to do. It's going to reduces your pain, whether it's arthritis. I've used that. What I really use it for is the back pain. I've had some back pain, and man, it really, really helps. It doesn't smell. It doesn't burn. It's not greasy. And it's really easy to find, and also there's an empty jar guarantee. If you don't like it, if you take my word for it, and you go down to the Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, you go and buy it, and it doesn't work for you, you can return it for a full refund with that empty. Just use it all, and then return it for a full refund, okay? That's Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Australian Dream Back Pain Relief Cream. Please go check it out. They're good people, good products, and they're supporting a great program like this. Let's go take a look what folks have to say. Let's see here. Ray says, I enjoy this stream, RH. Thank you, Ray. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name's Rusty Humphreys, by the way. Hi, how you doing? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, my name is on the little mark there. It says Rusty Humphreys Rebellion. Maybe it's hard to read sometimes there. That's me. How you doing? I'm Rusty Humphreys. Nice to meet you. It's my show. Anyway, thank you very much. Ray says, Rand and the POTUS rocks. Yes. Paul says, just think the temperature is going up and just think all the snowflakes will then start to melt. It's a great day for America. Jason, Rand Paul was spot on. George, or Jorge, says, love my POTUS. Keith says, amen, Rand Paul. Steve says, if evolution theory is true, what are the snowflakes worry about? Humans will evolve to tolerate the changing climate. No problem. I like that. O'Neillia, there is a source face of despicable. It's Tapper of CNN. June says, the world isn't in scientists' hands or man's hands. It's in the Lord Jesus Christ's hands. Keith says, fascist liberal BS. Here's one thing I do want to say, and that is temperature goes up, temperature goes down. Is it because of man? No. It's because the sun is not a perfect heater. The sun temperature goes up, the sun temperature goes down. There's nothing you can do about it. Do you remember? Now, I remember back when I was a kid, growing up in the 70s. And, man, there was garbage everywhere. There was I don't know if you remember, if you weren't around, there was a famous commercial. Go do YouTube it. There was a famous TV commercial, and there was this Indian. They didn't call them Native Americans then. They were called Indians. And he was on the side of he was on a road, and this family is driving down the street, and they throw garbage out, and it hits him in the feet. And he just looks by, and there's a tear in his eye. And that was one of the most powerful images to stop littering. Have you been to another country? The amount of litter that we have in America, I mean, we are so clean. Another thing I remember, when I was in the 80s, I worked at Universal Studios in Hollywood, and I remember there were days where you couldn't see the valley because the smog was so thick. That's gone. We have cleaned up our act. But they continue. It's never enough for the liberals because they want to spend more money. They want to use it to control you. I'm tired of being controlled by you people. I don't have time or effort. My friends need jobs. If you want to go complain about something, go to China. That's where your pollution is. Go to India. That's where your pollution is. And these accords didn't affect China or India. It's only us. It's only the Western countries that have to bend over and take it. I'm not taking it anymore. And you shouldn't either. Now, I'm not the only one that believes this. I want to see what you think. Jason says, I've been saying this for years. I'm glad I'm not the only one calling BS on this. Yeah, I'm calling BS. I'm calling double BS, and I'm looking right at you, Al Gore. Nobody's more of a BS artist than Al Gore, and I mean nobody. On Fox earlier today, what did Charles Krauthammer have to say? He had some comments about this particular subject.
Charles.
The left is showing that this has become an issue of almost religious belief. You could shut down every coal mine in America. The effect on the climate, on temperature, would be negligible. You couldn't even measure it. And second, if this is such a popular issue, such a consensus issue, well, when the Democrats had the White House, when Obama concluded this, why didn't he go to the Senate? We have a Constitution. There's a reason why we have provisions, because you want treaties to have substance and permanence. So you go to the Senate, you get a consensus of the country expressed by a two-thirds majority, rather than some executive agreement like, I would say, the Iran deal, which they knew would not have consensus. The Kyoto Agreement was voted down by like 99-1 in the late 1990s because people didn't want it. And I think if Democrats are so attached to this and think that this is so apocalyptic if it's withdrawn from, why didn't they go to the Senate and have it inscribed as a treaty? Because they would never have gotten the vote.
It would have never gotten passed. That's right. Charles Krauthammer is absolutely correct at that. By the way, have you commented yet? Have you shared? Have you given us the thumbs up? Have you engaged in this video? That engagement is so very, very important. Let's see here. Steve says, I saw unbelievably heavy smog in Shanghai just last year. America is quite beautiful by comparison. You know, I was in Cambodia over it was the end of March. I went to Cambodia, and you wouldn't believe the garbage. Same thing in the Middle East. It's just piles. Everywhere is like a dump. Everywhere is a dump. You get your garbage, you take it from the house, and you throw it in the backyard. That's what it's like in most countries. Here in America, they'd haul you in jail for doing something like that. So don't give me this crap, Al Gore, that it's our fault. By the way, he's got another movie. I guess he has to go back and get some more money to pay off Tipper after he went and had that massage in Portland and got busted. By the way, how come that's never a story? How come nobody talks about Al Gore and his run-ins with the hooker? Well, no, it wasn't a hooker. It was a masseuse, and he tried to get her to, and she wouldn't do it and turned him in. Remember that story? Yeah, probably not, because they never talk about it. Let's see. David says, people just don't know how good we have it here until you go to another country. You are so right, brother. Mike says, all about the money. Just ask Al Gore. Keith, 108 in Sacramento, that's normal. I grew up in L.A. in the 60s, sorry. I couldn't even see Mount Wilson. Now, no problem. Al Gore is a joke. He's a joke. He's a rich joke. You know what he is? He's not a joke. He's a con man. Al Gore is one of the great con men. And you know what I think it is? I think that he is still so bitter after losing that election to George W. Bush that he thought he was owed. It's just like Hillary Clinton. That presidency was owed to her by the American people. Al Gore, same thing. The American people owed him the presidency, and now he's getting back. This is payback. This whole global warming crap, this scam, this lie, this con job that Al Gore has done, it's getting back at you because you didn't let him be president. That's what I think. What do you think? Comment. Let's see here. All the pollution is the liberals like Al Gore, Hillary, and Obama. Keith says, the liberal fascists want to scare the public. They've done it to our youth. Absolutely. That's what this is all about. My daughter comes home from school terrified. Daddy, we're all going to die. Okay, what are you talking about? Global warming. I'm not going to be able to have babies. The world is ending. I mean, this is what she's taught at school. But on Inauguration Day, they wouldn't allow the kids to watch the inauguration at school. Damn well bet you $100 that if Hillary Clinton had been elected, they would have let them watch that inauguration. By the way, a lot of people have been sharing the video. Thank you. Bobby Rohr, thank you for sharing the video. Martha Katz, thank you for sharing the video. Please let people know that we're out here and we're here almost every day right here on Right Wing News on Facebook. And then afterwards, I share it to my page, which if you would like to have that, it's Talk to Rusty. It's Talk the number 2 Rusty. And you can go there on Facebook. I will pin it. My address and my website, which is rustylive.com. I'll put that on the stream here at the end of the stream, so you can make sure you go find that. And if you would please go and check out the Rusty Humphreys Rebellion too. Paul says we are the only. It's a podcast, by the way. You can get it at iTunes, Stitcher, or at rustylive.com. Paul says we are the only ones actually doing anything. Tell the rest of them to do something, and we'll still do better. Aubrey says it's all a scam. Everything you hear from Washington liberals is a scam. The only thing Washington cares about is money and power. Dang right, Aubrey. Kevin, thank you for sharing the video. Appreciate it. Steve, yes. Daniel, when Venice, Italy sinks, then we'll talk about it. Amen, brother. Eric is checking in from California. Deborah says they can't even see the sun in China. They have to wear masks so they don't get sick. Ew. Steve said we should have let him be president for one day just to keep him from fussing like a baby. No, he'd never leave. Guys like that, the only thing they want is power and money. And it all is tied in together. And you get the power and you give the money to your buddies so that when you're low, they come and save your ass. These Democrats, man, it's a con job all the way down to the lowest local levels. What a scam. Teachers unions go and they help Democrats get in office. Then the Democrats get in office, teachers unions go, okay, time for the pay up, buddy. And then all of a sudden these crazy contracts get put through. Most of it going to the upper level people. It's a joke. Yeah, Jennifer says, no, please, no Gore president. Keith says, God bless you for doing this. No, it's my honor. The only thing we have to make sure is that it gets seen. And the only way it gets seen is that if you watch it and you like it and you comment and you share. It's the only way it gets seen. The other only way it gets seen is if you support my sponsors. Now, I have a new sponsor, a brand new one. Now, that's good news because what that means is that the show is growing. And this brand new sponsor, I don't have all the information for. Uh-oh. Well, can I tell you about it, and then I'll tell you how to get it tomorrow? I don't know about you, but I've got terrible earwax. I think it's because I was told when I was younger, because I swam a lot when I was little, that I have small ear canals, and then, like, wax builds up. And there is a new product. This is the same ear washer that doctors and clinics use. It's the same strength. This is not something you can really get in stores, from what I understand. Like I said, I'll have all the information for it tomorrow. But if you have earwax problems like I do, it's a multi-step system. It's safe for ages 12 and up. Look for WaxRx online, would you please? And I apologize for not having all the information handy. I thought I had it here on this piece of paper, and I don't. But I do have this product, and I would really love for you to check it out. WaxRx, the pH conditioned ear wash system. And this is something I got to tell you, I'm very glad I have. I probably have to go to the doctor to get my ears clean, and it's awful. And I hate talking about this, but twice a year, I know it's embarrassing. But hey, wouldn't you rather have something like this instead of having to go to the doctor and spend a couple $100? So go check out WaxRx, the pH conditioned ear wash system. And again, thank you for indulging me to be able to tell you about these sponsors, because that's how I feed my family. It's how we're able to continue this stuff. You know, you're not paying for this. Facebook's free. They aren't monetizing this. So it's, you know, I'm a solopreneur, and I thank you very much for allowing me to do this. All right, let's take a look here. What else is going on? Philip says thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ken Tobley, thank you so much for sharing the video. Thank you, Ken. Phil says, he got us out of the world's biggest scam. A ruse only stood to ruin us. Trump stood up for us. I'm sorry if some people don't like it, but it's about time we put a stop to all this toe stepping. No more. Amen, brother. Thomas says the left wing has been brainwashing U.S. citizens for years by using the TV and the mainstream media. It's not just that. It's the colleges. It's the public education. They've gone right into the schools and grabbed the children, pulled them by their necks and said, hey, listen, you're going to listen or else you're going to die. And I'm not exaggerating. They exaggerate this stuff to the furthest degree they possibly can to scare and get these children to fall in line. Weston says it is past time that Democrats were declared a terrorist organization and outlawed. Weston, the truth is they have a right to freedom of speech. The problem is when they abuse it, when they lie. Unfortunately, lies are covered in the freedom of speech. You know, I was in England once. And I was there to go and see the London Central Mosque. And I got to tell you, I'd been to Afghanistan a little bit earlier than that, and I was more scared at the London Central Mosque than I was in Afghanistan. And I know it's crazy to say, but it's true. Although Afghanistan was pretty scary. What was scary about the London Central Mosque was just how blatantly open they were. Yes, of course, we're going to take over the world, and there's nothing you're going to do. And yes, you deserve the death penalty, and Tony Blair should die. And I mean, it was just this open conversation. Yes, of course. I remember one of the questions I asked was, can't we just go get some hummus and some Pepsi and just sit down and just talk and be friends? And he says, of course, we can never be friends, of course, because you're a Christian or a Jew, and I've been told by my book that you hate me. So until you convert and change your name from Rusty to Muhammad, then we can be very good friends. Until then, I know you hate me. Man, that's a tough argument to get around, and that's the brainwashing going on, right? So after that, I went to Parliament. And I talked to this minister of parliament, and I got to be honest, I'm blanking on his name right now. But this guy was friends with Yasser Arafat, proud to be a Yasser Arafat supporter. As a matter of fact, in his office, there were books and posters and even dolls of Yasser Arafat and Hugo Chavez and Castro. It was shocking. Anyway, I started interviewing the guy, and I asked him a couple questions he didn't like, isn't Yasser Arafat a terrorist? He called the police. Okay, I'm bringing this up because of First Amendment. He called the police. They came to the office. He lied to them about who I was. And then I got banned from Parliament for life. I was with a friend of mine who you may know. His name's Aaron Klein. He used to work with WorldNet Daily. He's now with Breitbart. He and I were together. We got arrested. We're banned from Parliament for life. It's because their laws of freedom of speech are different. He disagreed with me and could shut me down. That's why I want to hear more voices. I want the Daily Kos out there. I want the Huffington Post out there. I want Keith Olbermann out there because I think they're crazy. And the more they get heard, the more people go, man, they're nuts. But what we have to make sure is that programs like this, the Rusty Humphreys Rebellion, gets heard as much or more because the truth needs to get out there. And that's where you can help. We go around the big corporations. I'm not $22 billion in debt like one of the big radio companies are. I'm not being told what to do by the corporate on highs who say, oh, well, we can't be that conservative anymore because advertisers aren't going to like that. I'm telling you the truth. I'm going out and seeking advertisers that want the truth to be told. And that's why we're here. That's why your participation is so important. And that's why when I tell you about a product that you not only don't tune it out, but you also take a look at it, and if it's something that interests you, buy it. If it doesn't interest you, it's okay. My commercial isn't going to take very long. Like for the example, this one, it's graduation season. And my friend John Hawkins, he runs Right Wing News. That's the Facebook page that we're on. And he has a new book out there. It's called 101 Things All Young Adults Should Know. And this is not just a political book. This is a book about how do you get a job? How do you manage your finances? It's just a whole bunch of tips that young adults should know to be out there in the real world. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, you should know those things. So if you've got a grad or just somebody that you love that's a young adult, get him that book. Go to Amazon. You could find it. I'll have a link for it a little bit later on my Facebook, on my website, rustylive.com. You'll be able to find it there. Click on it, and you'll be able to support John Hawkins and me as well. So that's it. Let's take a quick look at your comments. I'm going to wrap things up in just a minute. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-boo. Let's see here. Lots of stuff, lots of comments today. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know when people say that sometimes it seems like they don't mean it, or I don't know, they're being condescending or something. I really, really mean it. You have no idea how much crap I've been put through trying to get the truth out. How many hoops I've had to run through, and now I've said, you know what? I don't care what you big corporations have to say. I'm not against you. You can do anything you want. You're just not going to run me. I'm going right to the people. I'm doing what I think Donald Trump should do, going right to the people. And so that's why I appreciate your support, again, more than you know. Let's see here. Wanda is watching from San Clemente, California, the home of Richard Nixon, right? Yeah. Peter, good job. A sponsor is a sponsor. Thank you. Kelly, yes, I agree with you totally. Thank you, Kelly. Peter says, sponsor is a sponsor. They pay the bills. Yes, and it makes it so that you don't have to pay. Makes it so that I don't have to beg you. Could you please send me money, please? I hate that. And by the way, you know what I really hate? Oh, you want to know what I really hate? Okay, here's the list of things I hate. And hate's a very strong word. But it's Al Gore, John McCain, PBS, NPR. Why do I hate PBS, NPR so much? I hate them because they lie. Oh, we can't broadcast without government help. We need government help. Here's one thing I ask you to do. Go to any television station in America. Any regular one that has sponsors, or radio stations, even more obvious with radio. And they're okay. Most of them are dumps. The equipment is falling apart. Radio companies are in trouble. Now go to the NPR or PBS station. It is the nicest, most well-equipped, top of notch, the latest technology. They have the best of the best always. Because they get money from the government. And then they cry every couple of months, oh, we're going out of business. Please give us money. Please. Please. That was my Roger Rabbit impression. Please. Now I'm coughing. It's my Hillary impression. Let's see. Dave, thank you for sharing the video. You rock. Kevin, thank you, Rusty, for bringing this to us. The network sure as hell aren't going to. Nice to have some truthful reporting. My honor, Kevin. Jason, saw this crap in school myself. Total indoctrination. Yes, it is. Tracy, I hope he takes the safe space away. Grow up. Deal with life. Don't hide in a safe space. You're at college, for God's sake. Yes. I'll bring back The Last Man Standing, the Tim Allen show. You know, I never watched the show. Now that it's out, I've seen clips on Facebook and stuff. It looks like a good show. I'm sorry I missed it. Luis is an Ohio deplorable. Steve has shared the video. Yay, Steve, you rock. Thank you, Steve. Jennifer says, it doesn't work that way. They think we are all infidels, and it's their responsibility to kill us. Yep. Louise, hi, Gene. Gene says hello. Keith, thank God for our First Amendment. Rusty, you are our hero. You get the word out, and it's the truth. I don't know about hero, Jennifer, but I am working hard every day, and we're doing something different. Nobody's really doing this. You're seeing a couple of shows starting to pop up on Facebook Live, but they're not doing the show like this. They're not doing the podcast. They're not getting it on YouTube. I'm trying to do all of this, getting it out as far and wide as possible so we can get the truth and not let these SOBs in the mainstream media run everything. I'm tired of it. I'm not doing it anymore. Don, I love your reporting. Keep on keeping on. Robert, thank God for our Second Amendment. Yes. Keith, liberals are not like me at all. Yeah, me neither, Keith. Jason thinks some liberal globalists are sleeping with Mein Kampf under their pillows. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. Keith, yes. Jason, thank you. Ben, yes. Martha has shared the video. Yay, Martha! You rock too. Thank you. David, yes, this is real news that matters. Keith says we need term limits bad. You know, Harry Reid, I used to live in Nevada, and Harry Reid was my senator. Let me tell you something about Harry Reid. Politically, I didn't agree with anything. And the guy that was in Washington, D.C., that Harry Reid, I don't know him. I don't know who that guy was. But you would be amazed on what a nice guy Harry Reid was back in Nevada. And that's the thing that sucks about Washington, D.C. You have to be two people. If the Harry Reid from Nevada was the Harry Reid in Washington, D.C., we'd all like him. But I don't know what happens in D.C. I'll give you a great example of what Harry Reid was like in Nevada. I tried for, 6 months to get Harry Reid on the show the very first time. Couldn't get it. I called all the time. I started a thing on my program when I was on in Reno. I had the #1 radio show in all of Nevada. And then from there, my talk show grew to 350, 60 stations across the country. And now I'm doing this because I think we are going to have a better reach. But anyway, so after 6 months, Harry Reid finally comes on the show. What most politicians do is they say, don't say this in the air, but I don't want to take calls. I don't want to talk to people. I'll talk to you, but I don't want to talk to people. And I was expecting Harry Reid to do that. And he says, no, I want to take as many calls as I can. Huh. Okay. All right. And again, I'm not doing any of this to defend Harry Reid. I'm just telling you what my experience was. So the first couple of calls come in and they're fine. And then one comes at, and this guy, you some SOB, he starts swearing. I got to hit the dump button, and I hang up on the guy. Because, you just couldn't play it on the radio. And I'm about to go to commercial break, and I get the stink eye from Harry Reid. And say, oh, boy, okay. So we go to commercial break, and I say, because here's how I feel about anybody. I don't care if I love you or hate you. If you come on my show, I treat you like a guest in my house, unless you lie to me and then I rip you a new one. But if you're being nice and respectful and I can ask you questions and you respond, I let the audience make up their own mind, okay? So anyway, so I'm getting the stink eye from Senator Reid, and I say, Senator, I'm sorry, that we probably should have screened that call a little bit better. And he says, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at you. Mad at me? What are you talking about, mad at me? He says, you should let that guy say whatever he wants to. He can say anything he wants to me. Okay. And so I'll give Harry Reid that credit. He took the heat, and people ripped him a new one every single time. And I think if you think about it from not just a political point of view, but a marketing and influence point of view, what he was doing was, and it was successful for him. And it's something to think about if you're in sales or if you're in the business world. Sometimes when you take the heat, even if everybody hates you, you can win the battle by just standing up and taking it. And people go, well, gosh, that's a stand-up guy. So something that we can all learn from that. All right, let's see here. Keep up the good work, my man. That's Ryan. Keith says, fake Harry, the biggest liar in D.C. Ken says, dirty Harry, the Don Gotti of the U.S. Senate. Keith says, I talked Rush twice. He held through the bottom of the hour in 2002. You're as close to Rush as can be, and that's a compliment. Well, thank you, Keith. You know what? As a matter of fact, I used to work with Rush Knew Rush for a long time. Let's see here. Been a ditto head since 1986. Good for you. If you were there that long, I'll tell you one other story and then I'll end this. I used to do comedy materials on Rush's show. I used to do Mike Tyson. Hello, Mr. Limbo. Let me kick some butt. Come on, Mr. Limbo. Come on. Come on, let me kick some butt. Come on, Mike. What are you... Anyway, Arlene checks in. Mark Hood shared the video. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. Randy Smith also. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up. Before I do, let me tell you about a couple more sponsors. And as I'm doing that, give me some thumbs ups, give me some hearts, give me some smile, whatever. If you do that, I would appreciate that. Let's get some more interaction, some more engagement before we wrap this thing up. Let's let Facebook know that, man, people are paying attention and they love this show. And so you can do that by hitting that like button. Just hit it. Comment. Yes, I'm checking in. Oh, yes, whatever. Rusty, you suck. Rusty, you're great. Deplorable checking in from wherever. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Okay. If you have a company and you are trying to get ads on Facebook and it doesn't quite work for you, do yourself a favor, would you? And that is go to AdZombies.com. AdZombies.com. They are incredible crafters of advertising, and they do it in a way that really, really works. And what's amazing is they should be very expensive, but they're not. They craft your ad for a flat rate fee of only $44 an ad. Go to AdZombies.com, find out more, and go to the checkout, type in the word Rusty, that's me. Type in the word Rusty, get 20% off your first ad. Do that, AdZombies.com. Okay, anything else that we need to do? Anything else we need to cover? I can't think of it. Let's see. Again, all my sponsors, let me run them down because they are important. Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream, awesome. Walmart, Walgreens, any other great retailer, go get it, empty jar guarantee. 101 Things Every Young Adult Should Know by John Hawkins, available at Amazon. Go get that. WaxRx, the same ear washer purchased by doctors and clinics. It is a pH-conditioned ear wash system. Awesome. We'll tell you, just find that online. We'll tell you some more places we can get it tomorrow. Also, AdZombies.com. And go check out my good friends. They have a great podcast called Blunt Force Truth. It is Chuck Woolery. Remember Chuck Woolery from The Love Connection? Chuck Woolery and Mark Young. They do a great job on Blunt Force Truth. Go check that out. My website is rustylive.com. My Facebook page, go there, please, and like that. That is Talk to Rusty. Talk, the number 2, Rusty. Okay? Thank you so much. And by the way, all this stuff, I will put this I will give you the information where you can find me and everything else on the comments section, and I'll pin it to the top right after the show's over. That's it. May God bless you. May God bless America. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Oh, thank you, Right Wing News. Thank you. Thank you. Go to my Facebook page, Talk to Rusty. Talk the number 2 Rusty. Go there, like it, love it. Thank you. Bye.